Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of The Theory of Everything. Coming into the moment of screening, I had heard a lot of buzz about Oscar nominations for The Theory of Everything, and at least the ones for Eddie Redmayne in our main role lived up to the hype. So let's just go ahead and jump right in to the positives of this Stephen Hawking's biopic. Well, as I just stated, the biggest accomplishments for this film are the performances from our two leads in the role of Stephen Hawking and his wife. Eddie Redmayne was fantastic. Possibly the best performance I've seen from an actor or actress this year so far. He completely transformed into Hawking himself. You weren't just watching a biopic with Eddie Redmayne starring. It felt as if you were watching a documentary that was filmed over the life of Dr. Hawking. I also thought Felicity Jones was really strong in her role. She brought a lot of characterization to a role that I think was really underwritten. So what she was able to do and what she was able to make you feel was completely through the acting. I don't think the writing helped Felicity all that much, but her performance was also very top-notch. And even our smaller roles across the board were strong. The Theory of Everything was just simply put a fantastically acted film where all of the performances really brought you into the story and made you invested and care about what it was that was happening on the screen. And while I think that our characters were a little bit underwritten and some of our scenarios were not written as thoroughly as I thought they should have been, the dialogue and the script were smart and they were pretty well written. And this film jumps into some touchy subjects and scenarios, and our subjects are put through some not so great moral instances throughout this story, but the script doesn't judge anyone. And I also really love that. We're not made to have a villain. This is just an uplifting story. And even when things don't go, happy, happy, joy, joy, you still feel uplifted. And I particularly loved the way it ended. The ending just was really great to me. It left me on a really high note and with a great impression of the film overall. But while I left feeling great and the performances were wonderful, I'm not sure that the film as a whole is necessarily Oscar worthy. So let's jump into what it definitely could have done better. And it's all jumbled into kind of one big thing. Overall, The Theory of Everything is just a biopic. It's a romance, and it doesn't break any new ground. It doesn't push any limits. It doesn't try to take us to places we've never thought or we've never seen. And it doesn't dig deep enough. This is a biopic, and it should be a character study of Hawking and his wife, primarily. And it kind of touches on their emotion, but really it leaves the actors to brunt all of the weight. Because we don't really get an insight into what they're really thinking. We're not pushed into the psyche of what's happening through all of these really groundbreaking things. Eddie Redmayne, again, just did so fantastic acting, and a lot of times with just his eyes, with his facial expressions, because his body acting was very limited, and it was just all put on him. So the direction was also fantastic, but the screenplay and the overall film could have went so much deeper into what he was thinking, what he really went through, what his wife really went through, not just the surface level retelling of a story. And that's where this film really, really falls flat to me. And a big aid in why it fell so flat was the editing was so awkward. We were never allowed to linger in moments. It was delivered, We stayed there for just a second and then we moved on. And there were some key emotional moments that if they had just drawn it out a little bit, it would have made such a huge impact on the audience, and you would have really felt something. Instead, they delivered the moment, and then they moved right along at a very quick, awkward pace. And part of that is that they had so much to cover. It was Stephen Hawking entering school, starting to discover himself and realize what a genius he was, to Lou Gehrig's disease setting in on him, and then his entire marriage. So it just had such a scope to realize that they had to move it, because it's still quite a lengthy movie. It doesn't feel that way, though. It is entertaining. But they had so much to cover that they had to move really fast, and were never allowed to really sit in moments and dig into psyches. And that's a big problem for me. Maybe they should have narrowed the scope, or not told every little detail that they tried to fit in. It maybe isn't groundbreaking, and there's so much I wish it could have done, because it had all the potential and groundwork to be a fantastic film. I think it misses fantastic, but it's still entertaining. It's one of my favorite romance-themed movies that I've seen in quite a while, and Eddie Redmayne's performance as Stephen Hawking alone is worth the price of admission. He was so fantastic, and this is really required Oscar viewing, because if Redmayne is not nominated for Best Actor, there's something wrong in Hollywood right now. So check it out if you are trying to keep up on your Oscar potential films. So, that has been my review of The Theory of Everything. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, click like down below, subscribe to the channel, and join the conversation by commenting down below if you have seen The Theory of Everything, or if you want to see it. What do you think? I love you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!